Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple back again, and today I got something a little different. But first, it's been a little while. It's been like a month or so, I suppose, since I got my last review out. It's been a short hiatus, I guess, preparing for the birth of my new child, and my new child's here now. So obviously everything's a little bit more busier than it usually would be. But found a little bit of time to get this review out, and what we got something is a little different, I guess. It's not a official military ration. What we have here is a, I guess you're going to call it a Fallout ration. It's the best way to put it. If you want to say like cosplay, something like that, or role playing. But yeah, this is a basically what's going to look like U.S. military MRE ration components, but done up in such a way to, represent the Fallout series of games. So what we have here in front of us is what they call a meal ready to eat, with the Brotherhood of Steel emblem. It also says here, property of the Brotherhood of Steel. We also have some extras that came along with the ration, labeled by Vault-Tec, once again, also from Fallout. All of these items came from MREnation, so you guys should check those guys out. We do have an ingredients list. There's only been one review done of what we would call a Fallout ration. And those would have been the older style, where just the outside packaging was done like this. Everything else inside was just sort of standard packaging of all the components. This is sort of the more new, updated version of this. And apparently, all of the inside components should be packaged in this sort of way as well. So what we've got is obviously menu 3, Southwest beef and beans with all the rest of the ingredients. It's supposed to be apples and spice sauce, black beans, a cran raspberry first strike bar, crackers, cheese spread with jalapenos, a fruit punch drink mix, FRH, flameless ration heater, hot beverage bag, an accessory kit, spoon, all that kind of stuff. So what you would normally find in a US MRE. We also have some individual little packets. So this here, if we open it up, would have 2 pouches of peanut butter, a couple of grape drinks, and these say they're 400 calorie emergency survival rations. I got a third one. And curiosity got the better of me, so I did tear open the third one, and what you'll actually find inside is an MRE Star high energy bar. So it feels like two squares, or maybe it is actually just one piece that's broken. And yeah, it's 410 calories. Sort of a survival bar, sort of like a mainstay bar. SOS emergency ration, something along those lines. So what we're going to do, we're not really going to open these. I just wanted to show them as, how MREnation does some of this kind of stuff for cosplay purposes, with different packaging. So this is Vault-Tec. I don't know if the ingredients inside are going to be Brotherhood of Steel packaged or if they're going to be Vault-Tec, but I guess we'll see. So what we'll do is we'll crack this open and see what's inside. So this normally would have a peelable seal on top. Just so happens the peelable seal's on the bottom this time around. Tear it open. That's what it looks like inside, and then we'll go through each thing. First we have an accessory kit, which is labeled once again Brotherhood of Steel. We'll just open that up now for the sake of opening it. So you've got a spoon, not a standard US MRE spoon, but it's one that you would normally find in anything from MREnation. And what else do we have? Pack of Smarties. Sugar candy. Here in Canada, these are not called Smarties. These are called Rockets, because we have a Cadbury chocolate called Smarties, which are sort of like M&Ms. Got a Bulliard's pepper sauce, so sort of like Tabasco. Got your toilet paper tissue. Non-dairy creamer. Got a moist towelette. Got a deep rich coffee. Got a sugar. And 2 packs of pepper, 2 packs of salt. Which is a good thing to have. All rations should have black pepper in it. I wish they really did. Next we've got our FRH, just standard US military flameless ration heater. One of our desserts, we got an apples and spice sauce, Brotherhood of Steel label as well. And we got ourselves a black beans as a side. We got our main Southwest beef and black beans and the cardboard sleeve that it sits in. So you want to just see the nutritional info there for that. Once again, Brotherhood of Steel label. And lastly, we've got our standard pack. So what we should find in here is, I guess, the rest of the items, rest of the components. And it's not peelable. So we got ourselves some MRE crackers. Got a cheese spread with jalapenos, which will go good with either the crackers or the main meal. We got a crayon raspberry first strike bar, and if anyone who's ever had any first strike bars, this is always the best one to go for. So it's nice to find something like that. We got a MRE Star fruit punch flavored drink mix, and a standard hot beverage bag. This one's gusseted, so it's not a US MRE hot beverage bag. It's somewhere sort of in between a US MRE bag and a Canadian IMP beverage bag. So this is everything all laid out. So it's a pretty comprehensive main meal, and most of the items are labeled obviously as sort of Fallout cosplay kind of stuff. So it's all Brotherhood of Steel items, aside from the extras that I had, which were obviously Vault-Tec. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the tray out, I suppose, and lay everything out and get everything prepared. All right, everyone. So we got everything laid out now. I thought it was better just to sort of prepare things and do it all that way instead of taking the extra time to open everything up. So we got our cranberry, raspberry first strike bar. Got our crackers. They're a little bit worse for wear. They seem to, one layer seemed to stick to the inside of the packaging a little bit, so it was a little bit difficult to get them out. Then we got one of our other desserts, our apples and spice sauce, which sort of looks an awful lot like apple pie filling, and it smells fantastic. To go with the crackers and also the main, we got our cheese spread with jalapenos. That's always fantastic. That should be the only cheese spread that MREs have, US MREs have. And then we've got our fruit punch, which is vibrantly red. And then we've got our main and our sides. We've got our Southwest beef and black beans, which appears to have, obviously beef and black beans, corn, red pepper, that sort of stuff, and maybe a little bit of onion that I can tell in there as well. And then we've got a side of just extra black beans and sauce. The smell coming off of this is fantastic. I don't really think I'm going to need the hot sauce or the pepper or anything like that. I know we've got this stuff left over, but this will just become its own little sort of extras accessory pack. I don't drink coffee, so I don't see the need of actually making that. So once again, I'd just like to say this is great for MREnation to send me this. These aren't particularly easy to find. They are actually considered to be a collector's limited edition kind of thing. I'm a huge fan of the Fallout series, so to be able to even have just a little piece of sort of cosplay type stuff when this is what I love to do is Ration reviews. It seemed like a wonderful sort of collaboration, I guess, to have those two areas come together. More of a fan, say, of Fallout 3 and New Vegas, and even 4 more so than Fallout 76. I bought Fallout 76 online on Xbox and sort of feel compelled to play it now because there's kind of no way to return it. But it's gotten better. It's grown on me, I suppose. But I think hopefully whenever the next Fallout game comes along, it ends up changing a few things and goes back to the way that the older games were. So we're gonna dig right in, I guess. Let's try our main first. So what we have here is, it's actually very, very hearty. This is one of my favorite menus, main items from any US MRE. We've got very large pieces of beef here, and we've got our corn and beans and peppers and all that kind of stuff. So let's get a good spoonful with a little bit of everything. Let's give this a try. There we go. That's wonderful. It's one of the few, main items in a US MRE where the meat actually is real. You know that it's actual real beef. It sort of has that fibrous sort of way about it. It breaks apart like it should. It's not mechanically separated, that kind of thing. So you can tell right there, look, that's real chunks of beef. So it sort of Ups the quality a little bit, makes it taste a little better, obviously. The sauce is nice. It's got a nice tang to it. It's a little bit sort of like a, like a little bit of a taco Tex-Mex kind of seasoning to it. Nothing overpowering, but I just get a little tiny bit of spice and a little tiny bit of a background kind of tang. I'm sure many people would throw hot sauce on this and a few other things, but it's good enough, I suppose. I don't feel like I don't love hot sauce to begin with. I find for me it doesn't really add a whole lot for my taste. It just adds heat, and I'm more of a sort of a black pepper kind of person. Now, if we had some tortillas, this would make a perfect accompaniment. Throw all that, add some cheese into a tortilla, and that would be great. But we'll cleanse the palate a little bit first before we move on. So we'll try out our fruit punch. Usually not a fan of the what we call the red beverage base powders in US MREs, either the fruit punch or the tropical. That one's not bad, actually. It's not as sickly as regular US beverage base powder because of the fact I think that it's an MRE star item, not an official US MRE item. So that would be one of the few commercial items that's here in this pack. So yeah, it's actually a little bit better of a taste. Not the same as Canadian IMP Dr. Oetker brand, but it's a lot better than a US beverage base powder would be. We'll try just the beans on their own first. It looks like that's all that's in there, and it's in more of like a darker, possibly more flavorful sort of sauce. Give that a try. I know the FRH didn't get quite as hot as I'd hoped, but it should be good enough. Oh yeah, those are much more flavorful than the main is. There's actually a fair bit of heat in the sauce for those. So I think if you actually sort of mix this all in together into one thing, which is probably the way it's supposed to be anyway, I think that would do a lot to amp up the flavor of the main. Really make it truly a Tex-Mex kind of flavor. That's fantastic. It's not an initial spice. It's sort of that kind of spice that sort of sneaks up afterwards, sort of that aftertaste kind of thing. But I got no complaints about that whatsoever. Let's try out our crackers. Let's just do a little bite of one of the ones on their own first, just to see how they are. These appear to be, the light. We get a lot of natural light from this side, but they're very pale. But let's give a taste. Those are really good. They're not salted. They basically taste an awful lot like a more doughy Premium Plus cracker. If anyone knows what Premium Plus crackers are, it's like a saltine with no salt on it. But what usually would make these better is if you put some jalapeno cheese spread on it. I sort of kneaded the package as well as I could, but it didn't quite get where I needed it to be. The cheese is still fairly solid, as you can see. It is cheese spread with jalapenos, so you can see a little sort of dark flecks in through there. That's a little just sort of chunks of, I would assume, dehydrated jalapeno. And that is just absolutely perfect. I don't think I've ever actually had a cheese spread with jalapeno as fresh as this one actually is. I think the date code on it is 8283, so 283rd day of 2018. So it's less than a year old, which in the grand scheme of things is fairly fresh when it comes to ration items. And I don't think I've had one of these that's been as spicy as it is. It's not like crazy spicy, but the background heat that you get from that is wonderful. You get that nice salty sort of flavor you normally would get from MRE cheese spread, but it just amps it up so much more. This is just something that should be in every single one instead of just regular cheese spread. We'll spray a little bit, or I guess add a little bit to some of our main. Just see how that goes. Try this out. Usually this will make this so much better. We'll see. And yeah, that's the way to go. What you really should do, if you happen to have tortillas with this, it would just make it absolutely perfect. Mix the black bean side with the main and the jalapeno cheese spread, and maybe even crumble up some of the cracker pieces in there for a little bit of a textural difference. Then you throw all that into the two little warmed up tortillas that you would sometimes get, and that would just be absolutely perfect. But given what we do have, this is still great. I think out of all 24 menus that the US MREs have, getting Southwest beef and black beans, which I believe is menu number 24, is probably my favorite one. So this overall, getting this is just perfect. I couldn't have asked for any more than this. All we got left now is our two desserts. We got our apples and spice sauce, and we got our cran raspberry first strike bar, which is stuck to the tray. Reviewed one of these a little while ago in a meal cold weather, and they are fantastic. This one's very fresh, so it's very pliable. You can also see it's very sort of not as vibrant red as the fruit punch is, but it's more of a deeper red. So we'll give this a try. And I think where it's so fresh, it's got the, I think the strongest cranberry flavor I've ever found in one of those. It's got a very strong, like, dried cranberries. Like, just, you know, you buy a pack of dried cranberries for tossing in salads or snacks or whatever. It tastes an awful lot like that, and that's just a great tart, but yet sweet at the same time kind of flavor, because you're getting the raspberry coming in through there as well. And there's no nuts in this. It may look like it possibly has, but that's actually Rice Crisps. So it's a bit of a different textural kind of thing. It's dense and hard to chew initially at one time, but then it's also got that nice crunch that goes along with it. And lastly, we'll try out our final dessert item. So we've got our apples and spice sauce. It's one of the few things that you'll still find in US MREs that's like a wet pack of fruit. A lot of the time they'll either just give you like dry cranberries or raisins, or that's about it, or like a nut raisin mix. But this is one of the few wet fruits that you'll still get. You notice you can see all the little flecks of cinnamon that are in there. That sort of thick, kind of syrupy kind of sauce. So yeah, it does look an awful lot like apple pie filling. Let's see if it actually tastes like it. And once again, there's certain things that you wish showed up more often, like the jalapeno cheese spread. I wish this showed up more often in US MREs. This is absolutely perfect. It does taste exactly like the inside of an apple pie, and it is amazing. All right, so that's it, everyone. All in all, basically nothing bad I can say about this whatsoever. Every single item was nice and fresh and vibrant, and like I've said before, this main is one of the few mains where you can tell there's a bit more quality involved. You know, it's a real piece of meat you're getting. You're not getting some sort of mechanically separated and then reformed kind of thing. It's real beef, and it's also just a sort of cool factor of the fact that this is a Fallout, Brotherhood of Steel labeled kind of item. So I'd like to thank once again MREnation for sending it along, and if you guys can happen to search them up online, you certainly should. And maybe they've got more of these for sale. I'm not entirely sure. All I know is that, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of them made. And they were meant to be like sort of a collector's item kind of thing. So, guys, try to get back to you a bit quicker than last time. I know it's been at least a month or more. Got a number of things sort of in the queue to try to get to. And we'll try to get to them whenever I can. So, as I always like to say, thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a good one.